City Paper Live, Pittsburgh City Paper's weekly talk show, where we bring you behind-the-scenes stories from our weekly and online coverage, featuring City Paper writers, friends, and guests. Welcome to the show.
All right, welcome to CP Live, everybody, on this beautiful snowy day in Pittsburgh.
Snow day.
The camera's over there now.
Yeah.
We
Well,
gotta
you can see the snow.
Oh, Christmas time is here. I'm Amanda Walt, senior arts and entertainment writer at the City Paper.
And I'm Ryan Dito, senior news, politics, transit.
Why do you always sound so disaffected when you say
because it's so heavy, you know?
It's
so
true.
heavy thinking about the news.
Whereas I get to write
day.
about, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Could you imagine working at like a 24-hour news publication?
Oh, it'd be brutal. But I think that's
Yeah.
but I think one of the problems is that when people work at those places, they just get in this mode of like total separation from it. And I think one of the hard things at City Paper is that since we write from a progressive angle and since we write from kind of an advocacy angle really, that I very much like pour a lot into everything and then I get very emotionally upset. And I have to dial it back. But at the same time, I know that kind of reporting is a lot different than like 24-hour news networks where they're just like, honestly, it's fucking garbage for the most part. And
I mean,
just not very
you got to fill that 24 hours.
Right, and it's just not very informative, and they just like do like a lot of short things, and it's like heavy on punditry and all this other crap.
That's true. It's like we have experts. It's like
right, and
okay,
like horse racy kind of stuff, and it's not really like deep dives into anything, and I'm disaffected. So it's like
that's okay.
News writer.
Yeah, when I went to get my master's in journalism, we had to read a lot of. Basically just stories about like, oh, how has news changed? And, you know, what does that mean? And there was definitely a story about like burnout, like journalism burnout.
Yeah.
Where it's people who did hard news.
Right.
Or just did, you know, just constantly updating, just would basically just lose their minds after a while.
Yeah, and then they'll become like a teacher or something.
Yeah, they're like, I gotta
get
my doctorate.
Yeah.
Anyway, so... Enough about that.
Yeah.
Enough about the state of news today.
It sucks.
Just think of like Jay Sherman from The Critic, like, it stinks.
Oh, man. Bring back The Critic. If there's anything that I want to see a reboot of,
The Critic?
Like, bring back the fucking Critic.
Can I tell you a fun little factoid about me?
Yeah.
The reason I went into film criticism, the reason I went into arts writing is because of The Critic.
Oh, my gosh.
When I was a kid, I remember watching it, and I didn't understand what a film critic was.
Right.
And I asked my mom, you know, like, what is this? And she's like, yeah, well, you write about movies.
Right.
And I was like, you get paid? People will listen to you? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, well, this is the life for me.
You're like all those people in the like early 2000s that fell in love with CSI and then applied to all those fucking forensic science like programs that were popping up when like forensic scientist is like one of the most boring jobs.
Oh, it's so boring.
You're not a detective. That's what the CSI is one of the worst shows because it makes out that like forensic scientists are also detectives. They're not.
No, they absolutely
literally
are
just
not.
Analyzing shit in a lab.
Literal shit.
And then giving that information to the actual detectives.
Yeah.
That then will detect.
It's a lot of being in like a hazmat suit and just looking at hair.
Yeah, they don't have guns. They don't have guns.
Did you know? Okay, I feel like John Oliver pointed this out, but this is one of the reasons why I just really despise these shows. There's so many of those types of shows that apparently there's one for the postal. There's like a postal police.
Yes.
But it plays at like 3 a.m. on some random network.
Oh, it's probably like an Ion thing or something.
Yeah, it's really funny.
There's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode that like makes fun of that
postal police
of like the postal service investigation.
But
have you seen Medical Police yet on Netflix?
No.
It's like the
is it a joke?
Children's Hospital.
Oh no!
Okay. And it's that they are
which is a parody show.
They're
They're doctors.
I mean,
let's point that out.
Yeah.
They're doctors who
Dr.
carry
Police.
guns that like track viruses around the globe.
Oh, that's amazing.
And
that's
just shoot at
fantastic.
people.
That's fantastic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Wow.
shoot at viruses.
I bet
Take that, Corona.
there's probably an episode where they will shoot at a virus. That's how ridiculous.
Well,
it
no,
is,
but I feel like if you were going to talk about comparatively, being the postal police is probably way more exciting.
Oh, definitely.
Like than being a forensics person.
Yeah, you're actually an investigator. Like you're
Yeah.
actually going and like making a case for something.
There's physical, stuff.
right.
You can
Forensic
look at.
Scientists do not make
Johnny's
any
$10
cases.
gift card didn't get to him on Christmas.
Ooh.
I'm on the
Oh,
case.
that's probably a huge one.
From
That's probably
Grandma.
like
I'm
that's
gonna
like
guess
that's like
there's-
that's
There
that's
was
like
no
the tax
return
season
address.
for accountants is like shit around Christmas. That's the postal
Yes.
service investigators like busy season, and they're just like fuck.
Probably
you
a lot of
know?
investigating is like, are there fireworks in this box?
Okay.
Is there pornography in this box? Like that might be a little
Yeah.
suspect.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. I want to get back
Anyway,
to
let's
your.
talk
okay,
about it.
Yeah. Wait. But you're the critic, so you wanted to basically because you're at this job.
Yes.
Because
of the critic.
the cartoon show.
The cartoon
Critic,
show, The Critic.
which is just so great.
It's
you know?
insane.
Yeah, and they should bring it back.
Just me, a simple little farm girl from rural Pennsylvania, saw a show that was voiced by John Lovitz.
John Lovitz,
and was
man.
like,
he's still
"That's-
around. Bring him back.
Still good, too.
He's
Still funny.
He's still funny. Yeah.
He's
Still got it.
he's a walking cartoon.
Right.
He really is.
Right.
I'd like to see a reboot of Jiminy Glick.
Ooh. Oh, Martin Short.
Watch
What
yourself
a
some
doll
Jiminy
baby.
Glick later today when you're feeling down. I underestimated that show
That's
and
true. That
let it
show-
ride way too long while it was popular
It's so weird.
and kind of thought it was dumb. And now I go back and I'm like, no, I was the idiot. I was the dumb one. This is unbelievable.
It was ahead of its time, is that what you're saying?
I don't know. For Martin Short, like I feel like he was probably right
I
where
totally
Martin Short always
Literally
is.
Right.
forgot about that.
It
show.
was ahead of my time. I was
Right.
like, oh, a fat suit. That's really kitschy and like
and also maybe borderline insensitive.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
overdone.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just the character he builds transcends like the suit and
That's
like
true.
the parody level.
Yeah.
It's like so many different levels of parody that it's hard to comprehend.
Well,
Go
it
watch some
kind of-
Jiminy Glick.
It kind of led up to like the Between Two Ferns in terms of how
That's true.
just interviewing celebrities where it's like,
just absurd.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
absurd. And
Because when it comes down to it, interviewing a
Yeah.
celebrity is stupid.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Totally
Under any
useless.
circumstance.
Sorry.
And it's
Yeah,
always
under all
prepared.
totally
circumstances.
useless.
Yeah, it's always just like, oh, I heard you were on a flight to Cancun and something wacky happened. It's always that kind of shit
They're
where
just
it's like,
us.
whoa, and it's always like the wacky anecdote
Right.
because I mean, yeah, your life is pretty boring. You stay in hotel rooms and then wait for hours to go on set.
Right.
And yeah, that's
And
literally all it is.
And they definitely have like a craft, but most interviews with celebrities
Yeah.
isn't like inside the actor studio or anything like that. It's literally just
No.
asking like stupid questions about stupid stuff. you
Yeah,
know?
and just being like some crazy thing
Yeah,
happened.
what do you think of Trump?
Oh. It's like, I heard you in The Rock. I'm playing pranks on people. I hate pranks. Any celebrity who's like a prankster. Like when I heard that Mel Gibson was a prankster, I was like, ooh, I already know.
Strike 10. Sorry, Mel.
No, well, this was like way before all the like abuse. This is when he was still like the darling.
Oh, he was the
when he was in
heartthrob.
Maverick,
Yeah.
the great movie Maverick, and everybody was like, "Oh, Mel Gibson's a prankster," and I remember as a kid being like, "I don't like him anymore."
Yeah.
It's already. If
Yeah.
you're a prankster, I'm
not really
very wary.
a fan anyway. Speaking
Anyway.
of interviewing people,
Yes.
perfect segue.
Whoa! Look at you.
We have our big Black Media Panel coming up, Pittsburgh Black Media Panel, where we're
It's-
gonna interview lots of prominent Black writers, journalists,
we have-
figureheads in the area, and we're gonna talk about some
Yeah.
real shit, honely. Some
real shit,
yeah.
not the stupid shit that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So Tara Faye
Should
Coleman.
they bring back Jiminy Glick? Let's go.
To be
That's
fair,
the post. That's the post game.
the last time
I'll
we
be
did
standing
this,
outside talking about Jiminy Glick after the real stuff.
I feel like this is way more relevant and way more topical than when we were talking about NASCAR,
Yeah.
though. So let's be fair.
I'm gonna hold up
So yeah, Tara Faye Coleman.
It's on our cover this week. If you
On
want
our
to learn more
cover.
about it, pick up a free
Amazing.
paper.
As usual, just incredible photography, just amazing. So who do we have? So we have our own Taranay Idia coming back from
Right.
from India.
Yeah, all the way back.
Yeah. She's. I've been following her posts on Instagram. She looks like she's having a real good time.
Yeah, she's got some beautiful pics.
But yeah, we got an amazing lineup.
Yeah.
Honestly, Brenton Mock.
Yeah. Former City Paper staffer.
Yeah.
Brenton Mock.
Is he okay? So what's going on with City Lab?
He still has his job.
Okay, so he still has his job. Okay, that's good.
As usual, printing some great shit.
Great
over
shit
at City Lab, and a lot of stuff about Pittsburgh because he focuses a lot as a reporter. Not all of it on Pittsburgh, but he focuses a lot of it on Pittsburgh, and he lives here. So
well, it is. I think like we are kind of a model of like, okay, how our city's changing,
right?
And we're sort of between like the Rust Belt depressed city and Brooklyn. However, that's what everybody thinks.
We're on,
and like, and it's just like, ooh, what's gonna happen? Right. Are we gonna be? I mean, we're never gonna go back to being a depressed Rust Belt city, but like, what kind of city are we gonna?
Don't say never.
Well, that's true. Google could be like a bye-bye.
More like fracking, but
fracking too, yeah. But yeah, we got J. Thomas Agnew, Brian Cook. We got Markia Kiyahara, who I actually talked to. She does girls running shit.
Yep.
There's a pretty good article. I don't know. I don't want to like boast because it's my own thing.
No,
but yeah,
boast. It's what the podcast is for.
I mean, girls running shit is amazing.
Yeah.
We have Lynn Hayes Freeland.
Yep, who's host a talk show on KDKA.
Yeah, yeah.
Radio.
Sarah Honey Young.
Yep.
Darkness is Spreading.
Yep.
Among other things.
A lot of. It's gonna get real. That's all.
It's gonna get real.
That's my guess.
Well, we have one more, but I feel like I'm gonna butcher his name. Latrell Deshawn Crittenden. Crittenden.
Yeah. No, you got it. Nailed it.
So
Okay.
what's the point? The point is to
Kind of
give this is how poorly or disproportionately media covers the black community, or I'm sure there's going to be other topics, but that's probably got to be one of the bigger ones.
This is a problem in newsrooms, not to be like, well, it's not just us, but this is a problem in newsrooms everywhere.
Right.
I mean, there are just not enough black reporters, black writers, or just in general people of color writers.
Right.
But I mean, it's especially
or even like producers or editors or anything where they're going to be making decisions on what to cover and how to cover it.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of issues, really. I mean, like you talk about our region's reporting on crime. Mm-hmm. I mean, as the story points out, there's really bad disparities in how Pittsburgh portrays black people in the media. They are over-portrayed in how much crime, reporting there is. Like if there's a crime that is usually reported by like TV News, is probably the biggest perpetrator of crime reporting. There are more. They report more black people that actually are committing crimes in our region.
Oh yeah.
So to everyone watching the news, especially the TV news, they believe that black people in our area are more criminal than they actually are. That is a huge fucking problem.
Yeah.
That is a huge problem.
If you watch the news, crimes happen in the Hill District and they happen in Wilkinsburg.
Right.
And that's the only where there is crime
which are
in Pittsburgh.
Huge predominant black borough/neighborhoods,
Yeah.
And it's always there. And there was a really terrible headline the other day from, I think it was WPXI, that was like, oh, there's new development coming to near the Hill District. There's the redevelopment of the old Civic Arena site, and then they're going to do some redevelopment near the Peterson Event Center, which is in like West Oakland, right on the border of the Hill District.
Yeah.
And so is the Civic Arena site. And it was basically like, oh, but this neighborhood is known for crime, or there's perceived crime in this area. It's like, why are you bringing this up? It is unbelievable that you would say that you would have a headline like that. That it's like, why are they doing this development here? It's like, there are so many reasons why they're doing it. One, those sports arenas have been there for decades.
Exactly.
So it's like, why are you bringing this up now? It's like, so there are a lot of decisions.
So is it like Mad Max over there?
Right.
Like the Civic Arena?
Also, the Civic Arena development was an intentional choice that literally destroyed the Hill District. Because it cut it off from downtown. It just took thousands of homes away and turned it into a giant parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, So these are the kind of things that happen on a pretty regular basis in Pittsburgh, and so these are the kind of things that these smarter panelists than me are going to be, talking about, and hopefully we'll get a good discussion going about maybe some solutions, and maybe the people who actually are making these decisions, TV news producers, editors in the area, will really think about these things, because it's not just about writing stories about a black person in poverty. It is about the little decisions about how you report on crime. It's about the little decisions about how you report on economic development. And these are the things that, I'm really excited. And I really hope that this thing will do that, and people should come out.
Yeah, and of course, we are two white people talking about this,
right. Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, but that's who needs to come, right? I mean, you have to
we
hear.
definitely need white people to come.
Yeah, you have
White
to hear
people.
what the problems are
Come
and
to
try
this.
to fix fix what you're doing.
Were you
Not that
blonde
everyone-
as a child?
We were just talking
Of course
about
I
Like
was.
all of us.
I didn't have hair until I was 2 years old. So.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a long time. This is so stupid. Yeah. But this is happening Wednesday, February 12th at the August Wilson African American Cultural Center downtown. So absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, August Wilson, for hosting this. The August Wilson
Oh, yeah.
Center for
August
hosting
Wilson.
this, too.
Hey, Sydney, what's up?
Yeah.
So
Great.
who is the recommended audience, so people listening know if they
I mean,
who
people...
should come?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I'd love to have all the editors and the producers
Yeah.
of the area
everybody
come and listen. If you're a TV news producer, if you're a newspaper editor, and
I would say journalism students.
Yeah, journalism. Yeah, I
journalism
mean, anyone
students.
who is thinking about having an effect on the news media should definitely show up. But also, it's totally open to anyone who wants to come and who's someone who's a news consumer, so that you can think about how stories are portrayed.
What time and what day?
Yeah.
I already said.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you?
I missed
February?
it.
6:30.
Do you have to buy tickets?
Yeah,
I'm playing the role of the listener
Thank
right
you.
now.
Thank you.
You can
producer
also,
Josh.
it's free. There is limited seating, so you want to get in there as quick as you can. But you can also just search Pittsburgh Black Media Panel on Facebook. But yeah, like I said, it's 6:30 Wednesday, February 12th at the August Wilson African American Cultural Center. So yeah, absolutely come. And it's one of those things too, where it's like this is a big part of media literacy and the problem of people lacking media literacy and thinking about media critically in a way where it's like, just because something is being presented to you does not mean that doesn't mean that you can't look at it and say, like, I don't know about this.
Which is like a really hard thing for people to ask, because they trust the media in a way. Well, one, they don't. But it's such as irony. It's this deep irony that exists, because the polls say that people don't trust the media.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they will share a headline
But that poll
is
is the
totally
media.
false. It's totally false.
Right.
Like in a way that, like, probably just because it confirms their bias.
Right.
But
Exactly.
in that way that, like, it is really hard to ask consumers to continually be skeptical of the media, because who else is giving them the information? So it really is on us. It is on us as journalists to make sure that we are vetting everything. And it's okay to publish a story once, but let's go back and try to change it and stuff like that. I think that's a really important thing, and to understand that we make mistakes, but we can rectify those.
You also have to look at, like, the way things were reported 10, 20 years ago is very different from the way things are reported now. I mean, it's like things have been changing so quickly, and people are becoming, or at least being...
I don't know if that's true, though. I mean, I don't know if...
I think it is.
I don't know if...
As a true crime fan, I can tell you right now that things are very different.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that, like, certain... Maybe things were longer and more vetted than, they used to be, but we definitely used to have less media choices, which I think was an important thing.
Right, exactly.
In terms of making it easier for people to determine what is a good report and what is a bad report. But I don't know. I mean, they screwed up all the time back then too. I mean,
no, but I'm saying it's to a degree. I think it's maybe not necessarily improving, but I think the criticism waged against when, for example, if the New York Times is like very obviously is reporting on the death of a black person compared to the death of a white person in a way where it's like, you're portraying this black person as like, they were arrested for like smoking pot once and therefore like they deserve to die. Which has happened. And it's, and then the ability to go on social media and say like, hey, New York Times, what the F? Right. Like this is screwed up. Right. And then they say, okay, you're right. I think like the onslaught of people saying like, this is wrong. Yeah. I think that is like a much bigger and
I agree that
like influence.
Right. There's a lot more opportunity for people for consumers and viewers and readers directly to criticize a news report, but at the same time that has coincided with such a proliferation of media sources that it's like it's hard to really do that. So it's like I think it would be interesting if we lived in a world that had social media, but then still just had the same amount of media outlets, Yeah. And even as like, because like we're alt media basically, and so I do think it's good to have alternative sources of media, but at the same time, when you get to a point where literally anything just becomes media and anything becomes a journalist, it's really hard to discern what is intentionally trying to basically be like propaganda.
And I mean that is part of what media literacy is. Right. I mean that is a huge part
I don't think we're equipped for it. I don't think Americans.
We've never been equipped for it.
I don't think we will be unless everyone goes to like 8 years of college, and takes like all these like critical thinking courses and history courses and all these things. This is a whole other thing. We need social media to help us, but they don't want to because they fucking suck. But
Facebook, eat shit.
All right, let's move on.
Anyway,
I think
follow us on Facebook.
Follow us on Facebook. Look up.
We got a great page. We got Barge Watch going on.
Barge Watch, baby.
That's a Twitter exclusive.
That's only Twitter. Oh, we haven't migrated.
Facebook is not allowed to have the privilege that is Barge Watch.
Dang.
Barge Watch would go. Take that.
Zook. It would go off, Josh, on Facebook.
Facebook's not ready for the barges.
Testing ground. Twitter's definitely more of a testing ground.
Twitter,
because you can post a lot more, and it's like you can thread, you can do these other things, you can see the interactions.
Did you see the Buttigieg thing today? Speaking of which,
oh my god!
Wow!
So his quote.
Talk about a story in 2 parts.
The shape of democracy or whatever
is the issue that shapes every other issue. I was just looking at it.
I've been trying to think of memes that would make fun of it, and like my brain is too overwhelmed. Yeah, because it's like
the shape of our democracy is the issue that affects every other issue.
God damn it!
Deep.
It's amazing. It's
you got to have high hopes for a living. Buttigieg dance.
Right. It's like the perfect encapsulation of Pete Buttigieg's campaign, where it's like it's nothing. I would love to ask all the people who support Mayor Pete, why? Like what is the one of the signature issues? You can ask.
Did you see the clip of the lady in Iowa who found out he was gay after she voted for him?
Good. Oh my god! And she was mad. And she was mad because she's anti-gay.
She wanted to take the vote back. I feel like, and I don't know. I don't want to like slam a lot of. I don't know if you have reasons for voting for Pete. Good for you. You can explain them to me or whatever. Yeah. But I feel like that kind of sums up a lot of his supporters. Is they don't know anything about him.
No, he's
done a really
just like
he looks
being ambiguous.
Yeah, he looks like a young Midwestern good dude who was in the military.
It's all identity politics.
He's educated
it's
and
identity politics is what it is. Which is a stupid fucking term that the right uses way too much. But at the same time, that's actually what politics is. It's about relating to somebody who you're like, oh yeah, they kind of remind me of me, and so that's exactly what his campaign is all about, because he's flip-flopped on so many issues. He's gone back and forth and like, I support Medicare for all. No, I don't. I think it's unreasonable. And it's like, which I think is emblematic of a lot of voters in the primary, is that there's so many Democratic voters that are just so fucking nervous about Trump that they're just like, oh, well, no, I don't know. Let's just pick the person who's going to beat Trump. And like, no, you have to like build a
Pete Buttigieg only got around 8,000 more votes than I did for his seat in as the mayor of
Really?
Well, you got one. Let's just.
I got one, and he got like 8,001.
That's
not to lead, not over the next candidate.
He only got 8,000 votes.
That's the total amount of votes he got
didn't.
to be the mayor.
What's the population of South Bend? I think
don't
it's like
know.
70,000 or something, right?
So if you think about like how many people actually vote.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
Also, I've been to
unreasonable.
South Bend a lot. That is, I mean, there are, it's almost, like
I would assume the voter turnout is incredible.
there are. You can see why he has no black voting representation when you go to
South Bend, Indiana. You don't say.
There's, I don't want to get too into that, but you can draw your own conclusions or look it up.
Yeah.
Well, somebody keeps calling
it's got
him
101,000. So to get 8,000 votes,
is that like 0.08% of
If you think about 20% voting turnout, let's say.
That's 8%.
Oh God, it's lower than that.
No,
it's lower than 20%.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was saying if you think about 20%.
Misinformation.
If you think about 20% of that population, vote is actually
voting. The thing is
voting.
that in a lot of these, in a lot of declining economically struggling Rust Belt towns.
Yeah. Is South Bend Rust Belt?
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Oh yeah, Studebaker was really all they.
Studebaker.
That's all they had going there.
They made buggy whips.
Voting in mayoral elections, turnout's pathetic.
Oh yeah,
it's
very
super low. So it's one of those things that I don't
want to poo all over Pete. I bet he did some good things.
Obviously,
I just don't want him for. I don't personally think he has presidential credentials.
Way better than Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, duh.
That's a real low bar, though.
Right. It's the lowest bar. It's the lowest bar.
Yeah.
Can you string together a sentence?
Right.
Great.
Sanctuary, whatever he said.
I can't. Sanctuary.
He said sanctuary.
I love that metal rap band Sanctuary.
Great album. Sanctuary.
Oh, they toured with Korn for a long time.
Yeah.
Sanctuary.
No, Outkast put out a meme after he said that with their with their Stankonia cover. It was so great. I was so happy.
Oh, bless you. Well, no, I was gonna say I will say criticize him all you want. I think the whole comparing him to a rat, as much as it's maybe let's not get on his personal appearance.
I hate when people go for the physical appearance.
My friend has been calling him Peter Entertainment Cheese because of Charles Entertainment Cheese.
It's not bad.
And I'm just
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese. He has a middle name and it's Entertainment. And I'm just I don't approve of this. However, that is kind of funny.
I mean, it's not his fault his teeth look like that. I have fucked up teeth too, I don't think it's nice to make fun of people's teeth.
I think I mean, I don't want to get into the physical, but I didn't think it was his teeth. I never really noticed his teeth. I thought he kind of just had minuscule.
He's got a little mousy face.
He's got small features.
Cute little mousy face, But yeah, that quote he put out is just. It's so emblematic.
I bet Pete's a great guy, but he's not a president, and he's not a Democrat.
Right.
No,
he's a Democrat, I think. But
is he?
Yeah.
I think he's definitely a war hawk. I think he's definitely
he just hired a Goldman Sachs guy to be his campaign.
A lot of Democrats.
Can we talk about Shadow? The whole
and they're not either.
Oh, Iowa.
Come on now.
We're going to get into a whole different conversation.
A conversation on the Sanctuary.
Trump over here.
Conversation
about the Democratic Party that is way deeper than this podcast would allow.
I can't even. I have not had coffee yet today, and I just feel actually it's weird because that was not even the tweet I was talking about. But I mean, the other tweet I was talking about was he tweeted, "I did not, as a soldier, run around with an AK."
To see my countrymen die or run around with them.
Die, and people were so you're okay with killing your non-countrymen with an AK? And then the tweet after that was this came out wrong, and it's dude, just
the Democrat and Republican Party have no idea how big this kind of underground, sort of silent, but not really silent, anti-war movement is in this country. There are so many people. I know so many people that, me included, that it's just I just don't want to hear. No. Anytime it's we get close to a war, I freak out. I'm the
Iran situation was just
I was a mess. I was I'm gonna flip tables. This is bullshit. I just don't want to see it. And I think there are a lot of people that are out there like that, and it's this idea that like yeah.
Well, it's a war that's
2020 is going to be a huge fucking shock. That's all I'm going to say.
Gonna be
just
insane.
in the same way that 2016 was a huge shock, 2020 is going to be a huge fucking shock. Like,
I hope in a good way, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, do we want to talk about some of the other stuff we wrote about this week?
Yeah.
So it's snowing today.
Yeah.
Which I think it's really funny that it chooses to snow today after Hannah put out that story about how we haven't any snowfall. So we've had historically low snowfall for the past few years.
Oh, yeah.
And there's
Where's your climate change today?
I know,
Science.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that grumpy old uncle tweet because it's snowing and cold today.
Cold
doesn't
Monday.
exist. Climate change doesn't exist.
Yeah, but this is the first time it snowed in how long? And
well,
it was like
it's crazy
60 degrees
the fact
the other
that
day.
we didn't have like any real snow in January.
Oh yeah,
which is historically the month that we get the most snow in.
As a person who comes from a family of snowmobilers,
yeah,
boy, they do not like this.
Well, it's a big problem. I mean, like this lessening of snow leads to a myriad of issues for the state.
Oh yeah,
and even
absolutely.
like central Pennsylvania, if you're getting like northern.
It's the issue that shapes every other issue.
Gosh, that was so good.
What?
Think about it. Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. Well, I mean, yeah,
That's
if you're talking about
better
like
than his quote though.
I can't even remember it.
So, but I mean, yeah, beyond the huge environmental implications.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are economic implications.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have ski resorts here. We have.
Right. Well, you have to change. I mean,
mean,
it's also the infrastructure about like how much, because instead of the snow, we're just getting the rain. So that means there's like more flooding at weird times. So that changes how we have to design our roads, how we have to think about really just our locks and dams. I mean, really everything. And
because as Hannah's article points out, if the snow at least it melts slowly
in the spring. Right.
Whereas if you have rain, it's just a constant deluge.
Yeah, it's just a different climate. It's a different climate. It's going to lead to different animals being here, right? Like like our state bird is the ruffed grouse, I believe it's pronounced.
Wow,
and,
you're going into an area I did not expect.
Yeah, well, the ruffed grouse needs basically snow-covered areas. That's what it loves.
Yeah.
And those areas are usually in the like T section of Pennsylvania, like the upper, northern tier.
Oh yeah.
And as we're getting less snow, those birds are just going to move into New York, and we're not gonna. Yeah. We're basically not gonna have our state bird.
So what's our new state bird?
Damn.
What's our new state bird?
Probably I don't know, Canada geese maybe.
Those weird turkeys that'll smash through bus windows in the city. Oh man,
that's a good question. I don't know.
City turkey.
That would be really weird if they had to change the state bird because it no longer lives there. But at the same time, they didn't do that in California. Like the
condor.
No, that's still around. It came back.
Oh yeah, it did come back.
But no, for the grizzly bear.
No.
Because we're the bear republic.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm from California.
You're led by bears.
And we were known for our grizzly bears, but they left a long time ago and they have not come back. But we still.
They're just up in Canada, bye.
No, they're in like Wyoming and stuff.
Okay.
You know?
It's too expensive.
It's too expensive.
The housing. It's crazy. We got to move to Idaho. Which is actually where a lot of Californians are moving, is Boise, Idaho. Anyway, that's stupid.
That's nice.
But snow. Also, I posted this on my personal Twitter, and I'm hoping Josh will post later today on our other account, is snack downs. Y'all know what a snack down is?
It's snack down time.
It is fucking snack down time.
Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Finally.
Snack downs are just the parts in the road.
It's a road oasis.
That's perfect. A road oasis where snow falls that the cars and other vehicles don't drive over. And what it does is it shows you how much wasted space is given to streets, basically. Because you have these massive snow piles in the middle of our streets that could be used for anything else. But instead, they're just...
parklet?
Yeah, parklet. I mean, really anything could just be like concrete so that it's easier to cross the street.
That's true. Yeah.
Like it could be a lot of things, and every time I post it, so I usually post this story when it's snowing, and it's crazy how many people are interested in it. So
snacks, man.
Look for City Paper
Christmas time
social media to learn
Okay.
about that. What else we got?
Well, you want to talk about? So I wrote about something very interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Speaking of animals,
Speaking of animals,
state animals.
You know what? Not a great transition, but we'll take it.
We're really known for our transitions here. On this podcast.
Well, to be fair, the last episode we did, as I said before, we started off with NASCAR.
Yeah, we were just randomly arguing. It wasn't
just
the show started.
we were like, all right, the episode's gonna begin with NASCAR. So I wrote about one of the most. I mean, every exhibit I write about is interesting. All the art shows I write about are interesting and should be seen. This one was probably the one that I had to do the most research on, weirdly enough. So I wrote about this thing
All
called...
right, you're bearing the lead. Get to it. Let's
Shut
go.
up. Shut up.
Salamander hand
Shut up.
jobs or something.
So I wrote about the Queer Ecology Hanky Project, which is happening at the Irma Freeman Center for Imagination. So this is basically a show where two things are colliding, which is queer ecology, which is this idea of looking at nature not from a patriarchal heteronormative sense.
Okay.
So, like people who marry their dogs. Don't do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Like that kind of shit where we're
Right.
just like, oh, animals only have sex for reproductive reasons.
Right.
That's
not
a big
true,
part
though.
of it, which is absolutely not true because apparently salamanders give each other hand jobs.
Yeah, baby.
In small pools in the summer, and that's I guess like one of the hankies. Either in this had happened also in Minneapolis, so I'm not sure, but one of the hankies apparently addresses this.
Salamander hand jobs are called hellbenders,
Hellbenders,
which is an actual name of a salamander,
Of a
which is
Our
our
national-
state,
yeah, our
our
state.
state amphibian,
our state
the
amphibian,
eastern hellbender.
and he's a real live one.
Right? They just giving
They're
those.
little hands.
They do have these little tiny hands, perfect for hand jobs. I mean.
So, but yeah, just talking about how sex and gender presents itself in nature, to just paint it as like, oh, like penguins like mate for life or wolves mate for life or whatever. It's like
All that shit is totally false.
it's totally false, and also it's just like.
It's just this narrative that we want to give to animals.
Yeah.
Because humans will be like, oh, that's cute, or oh, they're like you see, they mate for life. Like, no, they don't. Like,
they
there's
don't.
so many birds.
Animals be fucking.
So many birds that technically, like, that like a lot of naturalists have initially said like mate for life.
Yeah.
Don't.
No, they absolutely
They might
do not.
hang out with that other bird, like a lot of their life, and they might rear most of their children with that same bird. But a lot of those
Yeah.
other birds, that like ladybird, she's going out and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go get some.
Yeah.
You know?
Evolutionarily.
Yeah.
In terms of evolution, it does not make sense
Right.
for animals to be monogamous.
Right.
It does not make sense. But I mean, this
I mean,
also
some
goes.
species, but
Yeah.
not all. And like, and it's just like it's a lot more complicated.
It's
than
so
we
much
wanna
more
give it to.
complicated. You're
Yes.
talking about
bonobos. They jerk off all the time. You ever just go to
Wow.
the zoo
I
and
mean, I
watch
was
the
gonna go
bonobos?
in
They're
a-
gonna be jerking it.
Right.
You know?
I get a Bonobos magazine at home, which is, I think, a clothing or
Yeah,
shoe
it's like a
company.
fancy
clothing.
man's clothing
It's
store.
Never
socks
going to
that you can
be
jerk off
the
into.
same.
Yeah, but they're gonna cost you like $60. It's an
Yeah.
expensive jerk.
It's a pricey.
Wow.
I'll just call up a salamander for 5 spot.
I like how I just rolled up into a podcast with two dudes. Like this is so. But I mean, it's also talking about even beyond that.
Bonobos
it's
are like chimps, by the way. They're like a similar.
Do they have a red
species of
ass?
chimps.
no,
No.
that's a baboon.
No.
Baboon.
They do have a exposed ass, but it's not.
Okay, it's exposed.
It's exposed.
It's not like big red like a baboon.
I saw one on National, something, I don't know, Nat Geo or whatever. And I was watching it with my son, and of course that's gonna be like, "Hey, look at the ass
Marty.
on you." Yeah.
Hey, Marty,
Of course,
look at the
we're
ass on that
both.
baboon.
He is his father's
ass
son,
man. Ass
so
man.
we're gonna be like, "Look at that bare ass on
Yeah,
that
ass man.
on that
Yeah.
chimp or
It
whatever."
just looks so uncomfortable.
But it was gross. It was a grosser one. It was like kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of gross.
It was like really kind of mangly,
Yeah.
like rippled.
Yeah.
It wasn't a contoured cheek and cheek situation. It was like.
It's not a nice contour
Yeah.
Why are you
human cheek.
Why are you body shaming?
It's not a contour.
I'm
nice
sorry.
human cheek. They're not
This
humans,
monkey.
Josh.
I know.
okay?
I understand
They
that.
are our closest relative, but they are not us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just glad
don't
we didn't
know.
get that ass.
Yeah. Get that.
It just
daddy
looks.
ass.
It looks so vulnerable and
Yeah.
so just like I don't know. I don't like it.
I saw a chimp one time.
Yeah.
At a zoo in Chicago. He did this like signal, and then a lady chimp came over, and then they had sex. It was fucking unreal. I was like, holy shit.
Just symbols that.
Right. It was the I'm ready to fuck symbol, apparently. Like,
well,
animals,
just going to a bar.
Yeah.
But this goes beyond animals. This goes into pretty much any organism. Because as I said in the article, one of the people, Vanessa Adams, that I spoke to, said that slime molds, infinite sexual partners, lichens, thousands of genders, hyenas have, from what they told me, super cool, complicated power sex dynamics.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also like if you think about dolphins, for example, dolphins, it's like cute. They make little cute noises.
Yeah.
They are perverse.
Right.
They are.
Some of them are rapists.
Dude, do you remember that story of that lady who would give a hand job to the dolphin that she kept?
Wait, no. Well, also beyond that, there's.
You've never heard this?
Oh well, I feel like that was a thing in Blackfish, or what was the SeaWorld documentary where they talked about jerking off an orca?
Yeah. That was called Blackfish. Yeah, that was a good one. I saw that.
This was a
It
dolphin.
basically
This was a dolphin
SeaWorld.
researcher who plagiarized a. We're gonna have to look it up.
Bottlenose?
I don't know what type of dolphin.
Porpoise?
Probably,
Those are usually the
probably the
legs.
sexiest one.
The bottlenose.
That's the one I'd
So
go
not
after.
a beluga.
No,
Not a dolphin.
not a belugs.
So wait, she would
Belugas are the cutest, though, I think.
pleasure the dolphin.
Yeah, because she claimed she was so intimately aware of this dolphin's needs.
Oh, yeah, blue balls.
So
Not a real thing, by the way. Not a real thing. Absolutely not. Not a real thing. Just gonna make that clear right now.
Okay, so anyway, she felt that she was so in tune with this dolphin.
she knew
Yes.
that this
that he was
dolphin
asking
needed
for her
release.
hand job.
Yes.
Which is such a like.
I'm gonna look it up.
Which is such a. It's so fucked up because it's like bestiality. To say bestiality is kind of implying that like the animal is also consenting. That animal is not consenting.
There's no way an animal can consent.
This is huge animal abuse.
Yeah, that is animal abuse.
It's huge animal abuse.
Right.
And it's also just like, well, then there was the guy who wrote the book about his sexual relationship with a dolphin called Wet Goddess.
Oh my gosh.
This was a thing. This went viral for a
Ew,
little
gross.
bit. But I guess it was like in the 70s. He might have been on the Howard Stern show. I can't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, he
shocker.
claimed that he had a sexual relationship with a dolphin and wrote a book about it called Wet Goddess, which mwah, what a title.
Yeah, it's a pretty good title.
Guys, don't have sex with animals.
Please.
They can't consent.
Uprock's article: Meet the nice lady who gave sensuous dolphin handjobs during a NASA study.
NASA?
I told you she was a legit researcher.
But so she did this for...
I thought you were going to be the
Wait.
Oceanographic
This was
Institute.
part of the study, or she was just doing a study, and then she was
So I'm
like...
trying to figure. No, it wasn't part of the study. She was like I said, she studied this dolphin for a very long time, and then became very, not only figuratively but literally intimate with it.
Wow.
She was just like, what's that?
I love how
Sprinkles?
even NASA has those like weird people that just pop
Oh,
out.
NASA probably has the
Right.
remember
Diaper lady.
Diaper astronaut. Diaper astronaut.
Yes.
They made the movie about her, and there were no diapers, and everybody was so upset.
Wait.
That movie with Natalie Portman was about Diaper Astronaut. That came out.
And there wasn't a part where she
There
was
was no
wearing
diaper.
a diaper
There was
while
no
driving
astronaut.
from
No.
was it Houston to
With
Cape
a
Canaveral
knife?
or whatever?
No.
Yeah.
Totally cheated out of that.
Wait, do we ever know that? So she was wearing the diaper.
She was wearing the diapers.
Do we know if she shat in the diaper?
Probably.
But we don't know.
She was driving.
It was
for
only
like
12
days.
hours, right?
I feel like you can hold.
It was
a
only
shit.
for days. It was only like from the
How
north
often
to
do
Dallas.
you have a BM?
Right, but I mean, wasn't
Not
it-
every
wasn't it
12
from
hours,
Florida
like-
to Dallas or something like that, right?
It was a pretty
Florida
long
to,
drive.
is it Florida to Dallas like 7 hours?
No, it's definitely longer than
No,
that.
you're going across
And it's
multiple
Houston,
states.
right? Houston, I think. I think it was.
So
a
center of
station.
Texas and
To
like the
drive-
tip of Florida.
To drive anywhere in Texas takes like at least 2 hours, like
Well, Houston's
from
on
city to
Houston's on the
city.
eastern side.
If we're going to talk about this, I do want
I'll just
to.
Google it
I
right
want to.
I'm gonna do Cape
know.
Canaveral to Houston.
I want to
okay?
know if she
Okay, wait.
pooed, and I
Okay,
mean,
we're
I
getting
support.
so off this.
the
Okay,
diaper
let me just, before we
is
get
definitely there. I mean, like, hey, you got to piss. Pissing, that's like you
Yeah.
never know. You
Yeah.
never know how many
Yeah,
times you're going to piss in a day.
Yeah.
You can hold a toozy.
You could definitely hold it if you really needed to.
No, that's not good for you, though.
but-
It's not
Wait,
good
wait,
for
wait,
you,
Josh,
but it's
Josh,
not good for you to
12
sit in your
hours?
own shit either.
Josh. But if you really had to hold it, and then your goal was to then get there as quick as you can, and then confront somebody,
Yeah.
right? Then you got this fucking shit held in.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Because then you're just gonna have to get there and take a shit anyway.
You don't
so
wanna be
what's the
wound
difference
up.
of the time?
All right, let's
True.
see diaper astronaut. Okay.
That would probably she'd have a better sense of urgency and rage with the confrontation if she held that turd in
Wow.
there.
There's a
Not
Houston
only
PA. It's very
okay,
confusing.
Lisa Novak or Nowak? Novak probably.
It's 14-hour drive.
That's a long
Or
drive.
15 maybe even.
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
It's not days, though.
Yeah, but it's enough to, like, if you don't want to stop at all and you got to take a shit.
I wonder, was she like...
That's true, because you still
What did she do for food?
You're still going to have to change the diaper.
Yeah. Unless you're just going to sit.
You can't sit in it. You're going to get fucking butt rash. Disgusting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, diaper rash.
It must have just been for pee. She must have took a big shit before.
Okay.
I'm much more interested in this now than I was when it happened.
Must have been for pee.
What did she do about food? Did she pack a little
it had to
she
pack-
probably had-
snackies?
Did she have some
snackies?
Did she have some astronaut food?
Some goldfish?
Some fucking dried ice cream.
Dried ice cream.
Dried
That
ice cream.
stuff's delicious.
It's fucking gross.
As
Oh,
a
yeah,
kid, it
it's
was
all gross.
delicious.
It was gross.
Oh, I
then.
loved
It's
it.
gross
Just pour some
now.
water in it.
Ooh, yeah,
Ew.
this is
Vanilla.
ice cream.
Ew,
again.
hydrate the... Ew.
Rehydrate it.
No.
Yeah.
Reconstituted. Oh, okay.
Chip it
anyway,
chip it like a brick.
let's.
Shit was so gross.
It's so gross. Like like people who have those survivalist bunkers, like packing.
It's just so funny because all of the best things about
Preppers.
ice cream,
Preppers.
the coldness, the richness, the creaminess. It's like, let's do that, but take all of those things away.
I don't know. The sweetness is a pretty high level of ice cream enjoyment,
thing.
and that's in the brick.
Were Dippin' Dots meant to be astronaut ice cream?
No, it's the ice cream of the future. It hasn't happened yet,
You are
technically.
fucking obsessed with Dippin'
I
Dots.
love Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots, call me. I will.
Dippin'
Dots. We
Dots,
will
double
sponsor
D.
you on the show.
You and what's his face? The old speaker, the old spokesperson for Trump. Was obsessed with Dippin' Dots.
Spicer. Spicy. Yeah, Spicy loved the
but
dots.
he was obsessed with criticizing them. He would
Oh.
go to like
Oh, yeah.
He
He
would
would
go
talk
to
shit.
like a fair
hate
or
him
anywhere
so
where they
much.
sell them, and he would always send out a tweet that was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
are
why
these
is this
Dippin'
still
Dots?"
here?
Dude, I
Why are you still here, you
love
dum
Dippin'
dum?
Dots. Go back to your fucking Easter Bunny suit, you idiot.
Yeah,
Anyway, back to this.
many embarrassing
Back
things
to the
about
thing I
that.
was talking about. So yeah, so the Queer Ecology Hanky Project, not only is it taking into account this concept called queer ecology,
Yeah.
but also gay hanky code. So
Oh, okay.
gay hanky code was a thing developed in the 70s by gay men.
Okay.
And basically, it was a way to kind of covertly communicate to each other, hey, I'm into this,
Right.
or like, this is what I'm into, or this is what I'm looking for. And it would depend
Where
on
would
like,
it happen? Where would it happen? Like in gay bars or in like
I mean, it could probably, you
Public
could
restrooms?
Public restrooms?
I'm just thinking of, wait, let me since
Yeah.
we're going off topic, I'm sorry.
No, this is
This
on
popped
topic.
into my head.
This is on topic.
Remember that Minnesota government official?
Oh, the foot tapping?
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he said he had a wide stance. When he takes a dump, he has a wide
Same.
stance.
Man, we got
Same.
a lot
I'm
of
not
kids that-
signaling.
Same.
I'm not signaling this guy that I might be interested. I just have a wide
I have
stance,
a wide stance. Yes.
Same.
squatty potty style.
That's
Look.
extremely wide.
That's what made me think of it was the foot tap.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just like, does he sit side saddle on the toilet?
That would be so uncomfortable.
like sit and then you can move your foot over.
Does he sit side saddle on the toilet? Does anyone do that?
No, but I'm just saying that could be another fake
That's how you
explanation
fall
you
in the
could come
toilet,
up
I
with.
feel like.
Who falls in the toilet?
If you sit
Do
side
fall in
saddle,
the
your
toilet?
ass is going to be the wrong way. You need your
Okay,
legs.
this is so stupid. Anyway, back to this. So, but gay hanky code is basically a way to communicate. I would think like inside and outside of gay spaces
Yeah.
that this is what I'm into
Got it.
without getting harassed.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
So basically, this is also building on that code to, as Mary Tremonti, one of the organizers, says, to kind of like build beyond gay cishet men into, other areas of LGBTQIA+
Okay.
and bodies and preferences and proclivities. And it can really depend on the color of the hanky, the pattern, where you put it on.
Oh, it's an
your
actual
body.
hanky.
Yeah.
You
What did
didn't say that
think?
at the beginning. I just
Well,
thought it was
you
a.
didn't
I
explain
said
it.
gay hanky code.
No,
Yeah,
I
but I
know,
thought that was
just
like
thought
just a
was
cool
like
word.
a cool word for
Yeah.
it.
No, a hanky.
You like hanky?
Yeah,
Hanky.
I didn't
It's
know,
like
yeah.
a code for sex.
Yeah, so this show is like
I
has.
thought of Mr. Hanky.
Should I say
Christmas
handkerchiefs?
poo.
Yes.
Handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay to say, if they
Handkerchiefs.
call it
Just-
gay hanky code,
yeah.
cool, but it's all about actual handkerchiefs.
It's all about
So you're
actual
wearing
handkerchiefs.
so you're wearing an actual color of a handkerchief.
I didn't
So
know.
you're
that.
wearing a
Kinda like-
handkerchief.
Interesting.
I'm not going to bring that up because I think it's fake news. The whole like Blood and Crips thing.
Well, there's a lot of like dumb. It's kind of like the sex bracelets.
Yeah.
Remember the sex bracelets
Which
in
is
school?
Also bullshit.
Which is also
There's
bullshit.
so many bullshit things.
So many stupid fucking things.
I just want to plug another podcast that taught me all those things are bullshit. It's called it's called You're Wrong About.
Nice.
And if you know about it, listen to it. It's fucking fantastic.
Well, gay handkerchief code is not bullshit. It's a real thing. And so this show is also examining that and
Where's
how.
the show?
So is it?
It is at the Erman Freeman Center in Garfield.
Is it like different colors as well as different tying styles? And are there all kinds of, or is it
There's all kinds of stuff. So the handkerchiefs on display, there are over 90 artists who contributed to the show.
Oh,
cool. Some are from Pittsburgh. Many of them are from outside of Pittsburgh.
I am going to check this out tonight because I am going to First Friday, and
I'm going to try to. I have a play to go tonight. Yes. But yeah, this is
cool.
It's really, really cool. And also you can buy any of the hankies. There's multiples of each hanky. So you can buy a hanky and they're all like different designs. I mean, when you think of like a hanky, you think of like a bandana, with like the kind of like paisley print on it.
Yeah.
This
kind
is
of like this.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like this.
Yeah.
But this is actually Scorpio print.
Oh.
Because I'm extra. But yeah, I mean, you can go there and if you see one of the handkerchiefs that you like, you can buy it.
That's
cool.
I
mean, and they're very affordable. That's one of the missions of the show. This is very much from like DIY underground arts culture where it's
you're going to First Friday, check it out.
Yeah,
Irma Free.
Absolutely. Go to Erman Freeman.
Yeah. Very solid art.
It's just a really cool, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just two concepts that like I have. Gay hanky code I had a little bit of familiarity with, but I mean just two things that I knew very little to nothing about. So it is super interesting, super cool, very complex, and you should go and just buy yourself a hanky.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Cool. That's dope.
So yeah, and like Ryan was saying, First Friday tonight on Blurred Gallery Crawl
check it
in
out.
Garfield.
Yeah, ton of great art.
Yeah.
It's really. So I've lived in Bloomfield for about 4 years now, and I'm just like 2 blocks from it. So I usually go almost every time.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's really starting to take off a little bit too. Because like a few years ago, it was like kind of like there were some nights when it was really crowded, there were others that not. It's pretty much like banging like
it's banging all the time.
Every Friday,
and
every
it is
first
an
Friday.
Incredible scene. I went a few months ago. I went to. Because I was actually performing at Roboto, and I just was like, and I hadn't been in a while just because like I get busy and also like you know Fridays like and I go dancing, but it's just like the people. It's such a diverse, amazing array of people, and everybody's so cool, and everybody's just like hanging out and talking, and
cool.
It's so neat. Yeah.
And there's beer, and a lot of it's free sometimes. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
but yeah, bring some cash so you can tip.
Got to tip.
Yeah, got a tip.
Yeah.
Go look at art, have fun. Go to the Irma Freeman.
Whoa, snow.
Snow just fell and scared us.
Squall? No squall.
Squall. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah. What else? Big stories we had this week. I mean, I could always talk about fracking, but I don't have enough time, so I'm not going to.
I didn't bring my diaper for you to go that distance.
Yeah, we're not going to be here. We're not in for the long diaper haul.
Let's. Do
you want to touch on your story?
I want to touch. Well, yes. Please pick up a city paper because there's a big story in there that's about how southwestern Pennsylvania legislators own stake in like local fracking companies and are basically have direct income from fracking companies, and they literally all just voted to give billions of dollars away of our state tax subsidies to the fracking / petrochemical industry, like the same day this article came out. It was like actually pretty good coincidence for me.
Yeah, it was.
So
very controversial.
Yes, it's truly insane how quickly the fracking industry started in Pennsylvania, like in 2009, and it's incredible how quickly they've coalesced just so much support from mostly Republicans, but also a ton of Democrats. That they're able to just like basically do whatever they want. You can own stake in a fracking company, and because of our weak conflict of interest laws, it doesn't like mean anything. And people are just like, yeah, fracking's perfect. And then you have all these politicians. Oh, it fucking frustrates the hell out of me that say you can't put a fracking ban in. If you run for president as a fracking ban, you're gonna lose support of Pennsylvania. And it's like the industry's only been here 10 years, so we don't know how many people are actually that connected to it.
Exactly.
Two,
Yeah.
there is a poll that just came out that said actually people do support a fracking ban, even though they're kind of confused about it and they're very ambiguous. Basically, they don't really understand it, and so it's just this thing that it's all of our talking points that have really proliferated in Pennsylvania are all from the industry. And we just repeat what they say, and journalists do it too, and we failed. We have failed over the last 10 years in terms of just repeating what the politicians say, who are just repeating what the industry says. And so we have to really think about how this is, and this is a story about that.
And there's just so many. I mean, it really spans like environmental issues, economic issues,
yes, and
human
like
rights issues. It's nuts.
Totally, and it's like a lot of the criticism has only been on the environment, and a lot of journalists say it has environmental concerns, and that's about end of their criticism. It goes so much beyond just quote unquote environmental concerns. It's water well contamination, it's air quality issues because fracking leaks so much methane in the atmosphere, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's climate change issues. It's not a bridge to clean energy. It's a direct competitor with clean energy.
Yes,
And the longer
absolutely.
it stays around, the
It's
longer.
a direct competitor with coal.
Right, which
Yeah.
and it's crushed coal, and coal is going away, which is good. But
Not if you see Barge Watch.
lots of barges.
You can't put natural gas on that barge.
No,
Well, actually, maybe you
no,
can.
you definitely can't.
You can't?
No,
Okay,
so,
I don't know.
No. Well, maybe you can.
Depends.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
But anyway, it's really thing. I'm definitely going to be reporting more and more on it. I just found a study that showed that like that, and the economic impacts are just not what they say they are.
Yeah.
And so much of the industry is saying, well, no, but look, we're doing great for the economy, and it's like, we don't actually know what the correlation is. You're just claiming it, and you've convinced so many dumb as shit state legislators that it's true, that they will just go out and they'll tell all their constituents, yeah, it is good. But guess what? Most of these state legislators don't know anything. They literally don't know anything. They were just part of like a Democratic club or Republican club, and then they ran for this seat that no one knows about because no one cares about state legislators, and then they just say things. They're not economic experts. They're not energy experts. They're nothing. They're literally... any of us could win a state legislator seat.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, and I mean that as like, I don't really know that much either, but like I will do research because I'm a journalist and stuff like that. But it's just, that's the level that is this like fracking support, is it's just people who don't know anything telling you what to think.
Yeah. It's...
Listen to me though.
It's... Well, I mean, like you said, it's a very young industry. We have yet to see, I mean, we have seen... as you've written about before, the possible earthquake connection.
Which isn't that big of a deal, but that is something to think about. But
that's
it
like
really,
one of the lesser concerns.
The fucking methane. I mean, it's insane.
But
it's
it's one of those things where it's like, yes, we have seen some of the consequences of it.
Well, there's there's a cancer study that's going on in Washington County because there's this potentially weird link between the fracking wells there and this school district that has this like string of rare cancers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's like
much.
water quality issues because they're just pumping water into the ground to expel this natural gas. Yeah. Not all of it comes directly up safely in the thing. It goes everywhere. Like we don't know. And we've been hoodwinked, I think, by the EQT and all the other big natural gas companies that have said, oh, it's going to bring jobs. And
it'll bring jobs to people coming in from Texas and Oklahoma.
Right. There are a lot of people that are coming in that are like, oh, it'll do this. It actually hasn't bring that many jobs either. And so they claim things like, well, it's related jobs. And so there's this other claim that's like, oh, the more you frack, the more chance you'll get manufacturing jobs. They've been saying that since they started. And since they started, Pittsburgh has lost 10,000 manufacturing jobs. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, not to sound like I'm dismissing you, but it's literally like, this is some astronaut
Someone
diaper.
soiled their astro diaper.
Where's my diaper?
Oh my god. Okay, do we want to talk about anything else? Got a couple things. We should probably call out the cocktail shake-off is still coming up.
Yes.
If I can, do we still have an ad for it in here?
I love how we just like always bring it up.
We always forget about it.
I definitely heard some of our ad people talking about who's showing up, and there's some pretty
we
cool,
got some bartenders
pretty
showing
cool
up.
restaurants. Yeah,
Cocktail
pretty good bartenders from pretty cool restaurants.
I mean, this is way ahead of time, but the cocktail shake-off There's an ad in this week's paper. You can also go online at pghshakeoff.com. So this is Thursday. Shake it off. Thursday, February 27th.
Is that a Denora song?
No.
Dude, Taylor Swift, man.
Swifty, man.
Oh, Shake It Off.
Yeah.
I'll send you the Denora song later. That's local. That's more pertinent.
Ooh, Denora.
To
Denora
this.
Smaug.
Yeah.
All right. Shuttered on.
Wow, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for ruining everything.
Bard goes past Denora every day.
Thursday, February 27th, Cocktail Shake-Off, Energy Innovation Center. So yeah, get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. We are already lining up some bartenders to come and compete. Basically, it's just a fun night of some of the best bartenders, mixologists, whatever you want to call them in the city, just coming in.
Really good ones. One time
showing
I
off their
got one at
skills.
Butcher in the Ride. Guy made me a martini. It wasn't even on the menu. And it was like fucking out of this world. I'm like, oh, all martinis should taste like this.
Yeah.
And so,
most of them are garbage.
Yes, they are. But that's how good of bartenders we have in Pittsburgh. We really have exceptional bartenders.
Yeah. So, and you can go experience them. And you don't, if you are, I guess dry January's over. Dry February. If you were like, if you don't like to drink.
A teetotaler, which I've used about 4 times this week, and everyone makes fun of me every time I say
teetotaler?
it.
Yeah, because it's a very old expression that nobody uses anymore. But yeah, if you are, if you have someone that likes to drink and you don't like to drink, but you still want to attend.
Like Trump.
Yeah.
Just like Trump.
Good.
Just like
he doesn't like to drink?
President Trump. He doesn't drink. He's a teetotaler.
He likes Diet Cokes.
He does not drink.
And Big Macs.
And he never has.
Okay.
His brother had
his brother was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Don't not to say that you are like Trump if you don't drink. But there are mocktails there.
You know who else doesn't like to drink? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You sicko. Sober sickos.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
but it's
the
going to be a
worst,
good
the worst
time.
thing.
We're going to be there. Some of us will be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your tickets now. They're selling.
Get them now.
Get them now. All
Cool.
right. Anything else we want to talk
No,
about?
I think we're wrapping it up.
Wrapping it up. I got to get some freaking coffee.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you actually. Could you
Yeah.
give me a cup? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.